Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. It's about to get jiggy today. I'm just warning you, put your seatbelt on, make sure your life insurance policy is up to date. Ben Hudson offered reward, which is Warren Hudson's dad, offered a $50,000 reward. We're going to talk about that. One of the boys accused of killing Nolan is going to sue the socks off of so many people. And y'all, I cannot wait to show you the person that is in the crosshairs first. Don Lemon decided to run his you-know-whats about B. Tatum with his hair thinning in the top right here. Maybe all that man-on-man action got his hair falling out. All right, anyway, Nolan's parents on Cuomo's show, I got to talk about that. I'll clear up some of the Nancy Grace clip. It's not really a clear up. It's just some of y'all are stupid, and so I have to clarify what you already heard. All right, and then I'm gonna clear up a little bit of the Candace Owens clip. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country.
Welcome back. I want to first give a shout out to all my members. Hey, thank you guys for being a part of the membership program, whether you're a rookie or you've made it all the way up to deputy chief. Wherever you fall in your progression and your career as a member, I love you the same. I appreciate all of you guys, and you guys are supportive of me at the level that you can support, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new to this channel, go ahead and check out the join button and see if that's something that you want to be a part of. Make sure you download my podcast. If you like listening to podcasts when you're running and you're driving in the car or something like that, you don't want to watch the video, you just want to hear the audio, go to the podcast network where you find podcasts, download the Officer Tatum Show podcast. Also, Substack. Every single major topic that I cover, I write a Substack on it. If you like reading text and not just listening to the audio or watching the video audio response, you can read some of what have put in there in text. All right. Let me just say this before I start with Ben Hudson, which is Warren Hudson's dad. I want you guys to understand this, and I'm talking to the people that are sane, that are logical, that are on my side. All of the haters, I'll get to you in a minute. I know you guys see a lot of controversy out there, see a lot of people defaming me, and most of it that I see is just flat out lies. They're not even critiquing what I'm saying. They're creating something I didn't say to then blame me for something I didn't do. With that being said, I'm being honest with you guys. It bothers me sometimes. It's not the hate that I get. I don't care. These people ain't really about that life anyway. They don't want to see me in public or nothing. So I'm not talking about that. It's just the lies. It's the deception. It's the fact that when somebody puts on a post and say, well, if you really cared about the truth, why didn't you try to talk to Benjamin Crump? And we have already shown the emails to Benjamin Crump. And so the lies are what bothers me. But this is the encouragement that I woke up with this morning, is that they lied on the greatest man to ever live, Jesus Christ. They lied, they fabricated, they hated on Jesus, and they killed him. So little old me, flawed as I am, who am I to think that people are not going to lie on me and be deceptive when you're making a difference? Nobody lied on Barnabas. Nobody lied on other people in the Bible that were not doing the right thing. And so just so you guys know, keep doing the right thing, keep speaking up and telling the truth, and they gonna hate on you. But at the end of the day, when the smoke settle, if you did the right thing and if you were honest, you're gonna end up on top. All right, let's get to Ben Hudson, Warren Hudson's dad. He made a reward, or at least he offered a reward for anybody with information that will lead to what happened to Nolan Wells. Now, I cannot find, now people can be guilty and do crazy stuff, but the probability, the likelihood of a father who is going to pay for his son to go to jail. If you thought your son, this is how silly some people are. Y'all thinking that Nolan had something to do with this. Do you think his daddy would say, I'll give $50,000 to somebody that will show that my son was implicated so he can go to jail? Come on, y'all, put your thinking cap on. We did the interview. Y'all should have enough knowledge now. And you got Ben Hudson coming out and saying, look, I care about what happened to Nolan as well. We got a quote from Mr. Hudson, and it says, we don't know what happened. Hudson said, and this is a quote from the Sun, I think, we don't know what happened. Hudson said on behalf of himself and his son, we have been completely transparent from the beginning because we want to know what happened too. What is my take on this? I talked to Warren's father. I spoke to Warren's stepmother and mother and Warren. This seems to be a genuine approach. They want to know what happened to Nolan. Their son, with all evidence that has been presented up to this point, was not there when Nolan was either killed or he drowned. Warren was not there. GPS tracker shows Warren wasn't there. Life 360 showed Warren wasn't there. Pictures from the boat shows Warren wasn't there. If you're a logical person and you actually listen to the CTO phone call, it would allude to the fact that they were in distress, so they had to get out of the island. Nolan was not there. He wasn't on the log. People have already come out and said they seen Nolan around, right before 6:30-ish, so after they had already left. The girl that Nolan was with, Katie, in a text message, alluded to the fact that he never got on that boat. She did not see him get on that boat. She heard them yell for him to get on the boat. He never did. What are we talking about? Okay. Let's get to the next topic here. And this is, to me, this is breaking news. And I'm really hopeful that more of these boys who've been accused unjustifiably start suing y'all off. Here's one. The young man, Bart. Bart was allegedly, people are leaking this and saying that Bart was dating Katie and then he killed Nolan over Katie. And they ain't got no evidence that this happened. None. Katie didn't say it. They haven't talked to Bart. They don't even got a photo of Katie and Bart together. It don't exist. But y'all doing the same thing that y'all claim people used to do to black folks back in the day, lynching them with no evidence. And y'all doing the same thing to these boys. Why? Because they white. And it's wrong. Roll the clip.
Here with another update in the Nolan Wells case, a friend of Nolan Wells is lawyering up amid a wave of online speculation, denying a viral photo showing him with a woman some social media users are attempting to link to Nolan's death. Attorney Russell Latino says the old high school photo does show Bart Edmondson Jr. with a young woman, but insists she is not Katie McCormick, a woman some online have attempted to romantically link to both Bart and Nolan Wells. Russell Latino says Bart never dated Katie and didn't even know who she was before Nolan's death. The attorney also flatly denies the claim that Bart Nolan or contributed to his death in any way. The attorney continues on to say Bart helped a boat in distress and has fully cooperated with investigators, providing access to his boat, GPS, and phone. Bart now plans to sue people, spreading what the family calls wholly fabricated claims. Attorney Russell also says Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of the made-up speculation. He says the FBI, along with state and local law enforcement, have all been notified.
And I want you guys to do this real quick. Here's the picture. Let's show it in HD. Here's the picture of them. I want y'all to do this real quick. When you're looking at Nolan Wells' case, take race out of it. Take race out of it. Just observe what is happening to young men. One young man is dead. Other young men, in my opinion, are being accused of stuff that they did not do. That at least there's no evidence of them doing. Why is it okay that we treat these young men like this? They done got this boy getting death threats. I heard that Trayston, the young man I interviewed, people are refusing him service. He did nothing but be Nolan's friend and do an interview to help people understand the context of what happened so they can get to the bottom of Nolan's death, and they don't want to serve in places. The world is just, all right, let's continue. Here's a comparison. Now, to me, they look like two different people. The body size, the look, the facial dynamics, the age, it just looks different. Now, I think this is a picture that was older with Bart and this young lady, but I don't think in 5 years or 2 years or 3 years you turn from that girl to this girl. But before you put that on the internet, how about you test that? How about you verify that? Before you put somebody's son out there and he get killed over something he didn't have nothing to do with. All right. Lawsuits. Put this snag-a-tooth trailer trash woman on the screen. This is the trashiest woman on the internet. And you sorry people. I want to call you the N-word, but I'm not because I'm a Christian. You sorry Neanderthals that let this woman talk so much trash about me and get away with calling me a coon and sell out and all this other stuff because she white and you agree with her. Mr. I stand up for my people, and you let this white girl talk crazy about black people. Oh, the ones that you don't like. Now she getting sued. I should sue her for the stuff she said about me. Just flat out lying. Roll the clip.
We got the first official lawsuit defamation contestant in the Nolan Wells lies and conspiracies that have been going on online. Russell Latino, the attorney that was retained by the family of Bart Edmiston Jr., announced yesterday they were going to be suing a bunch of folks that have been spreading lies and misinformation. Kimbra Lee, right here. Russ says, we served a cease and desist demand for correction and evidence preservation notice on social media influencer, comedian, rapper, and OnlyFans model Kimbra Lee, spelled Kymbra space Li. Today, in anticipation of filing a defamation lawsuit against her, I anticipate at least 2 more such notices going out by the end of the week. I just bought a new case of toner for my printer. And Kimbra's reaction to that is, suing me will only make me rich, baby. Do what you gotta do. It will be a waste of your time and money, and it will not cost me a penny, but will give me so much publicity and public outrage, I might actually be able to afford a hamburger. What we have here is somebody who's never dealt with the legal system and doesn't understand that there are, in fact, consequences for your actions.
And the actions are malicious. This tramp is online saying things that she know to be a lie. I looked at some of her stuff and I'm like, you just made that up. You literally have evidence that this is a lie and you put it together anyway. She put a chart with these boys' names and faces on it. She got a whole concocted conspiracy of how they killed Nolan. That's not public. There's no evidence. There's no interviews. There's no nothing that will lead her to believe that other than trying to be salacious. And my producer just said she got an OnlyFans account. Trailer fans. They got a new OnlyFans for trailer trash. They call them trailer fans. And nothing against my people in the trailer parks. I've been to the trailer park. Some of y'all got some clean trailers. Just because you're in the trailer park don't mean you got to be trailer trash, all right? But anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. So I hope she gets sued, and I hope these other people get sued. And I honestly hope that Benjamin Crump gets sued. I'm going to reserve my opinions on the family in totality right now because I believe that they're being manipulated by Benjamin Crump, that he has convinced them that this is the right way to go instead of them using their instincts and saying, how about we come together as a community to find out what happened to Nolan? Instead of it being like, we're going to not talk to this whole group of people that are reaching out, and then we're going to make up all these theories about what they did or did not do when we could have just talked to them. And we're going to push these theories, and as they get debunked, we're going to deny, and then we're going to file a lawsuit, and then we're going to do this that's going to take 6 months, 12 months to find, when we could have just talked to them at the beginning. It's shameful what I'm seeing happen. Done lemon juice, lemonade, lemon lime, lemon bottom. I don't know what this. Lord help me, the intrusive thoughts. All right, put this fool on here. His hair is thinning out because he's sinning. See, when your hair thinning, it's because you're sinning. All right, and his boyfriend in the back. And I wonder why his husband, he called it a husband. You can't get married to another man. That's not marriage. That's a relationship. But anyway, how are you? Why your husband not in the live stream with you? Huh, Don? Cause he white. And you want to spend your career talking about white people bad, and you got one on your back every night. All right, let's get to some of the other stuff that he said about me. Enough of the hits. Let's get to the context of what he's saying. And these people, they want me to be wrong so bad. It's like, dude, just listen to what I'm saying and then critique what I'm saying. They can't. Roll the clip.
Okay? And we have not, I try not to say his name. Other folks have said his name. Try
Say
not
my
to say
name.
his name, but I'll say it this time because I'm doing a report on him. We have warned you about Brandon Tatum.
Yes, sir.
From the very beginning.
What do you want him?
He's become one of the loudest public defenders of these surviving teenagers. He's decided to become a defender of the teenagers. Okay.
They didn't do nothing.
He might think he's helping these teens. In my opinion, he is doing the exact opposite.
Time out. They believe that I'm helping them, or that what's being said is clearing their name, giving them a voice. We just got a text from one of them the other day. Thank you for standing up for us. Their attorneys think that what's going on is fair to them. What do you know, Don Lemon? What do you know? Mr. I'm storming into a church thinking you helping people? No, you didn't. They should have put you in jail for that. You actually got arrested for it. Mr. Fake Journalist, he biases all get out. Roll the clip.
Every time, there's a nickname for him, but anyway, that rhymes with his name. Every time he inserts himself into this story, he becomes part of the story. He becomes part of the story.
Because of you.
Instead of shifting the conversation back to the evidence, the focus turns to him, his claims, his interviews, his defense of the teenagers, his commentary, and his credibility. Now, interesting about the teenagers, because the story really is about Nolan Wells, but for him and his coverage, it has become about the teenagers instead of the victim. And so, as I said, it becomes about the claims, his interviews, his commentary, and his credibility. That doesn't help these young people at all.
Oh, okay.
You know what it does? It creates another controversy for people to argue about. Why him? Why him? Why him? And it's not like it's not that because I want the interviews. No, I don't. I would have taken my butt down there if I wanted to. That's not it.
Why you didn't?
Because remember your mom said, I'll tell you. Why would your strategy be to sit down with a far-right commentator whose brand is built on confrontation, outrage, and anti-black statements?
Let me cook this stew head real quick. Let's put this into context. I didn't make anything about me. You are talking about me. Why don't you just talk about the interview? You don't have to bring Brandon Tatum in it. Just talk about the boy. Just play what they said in the interview. You don't even need me in it. Y'all bringing me up. They wanted to get their voice out there. I sat down and interviewed them, something you don't want to do because you're not a real journalist. You don't want to get the other side. You just want one side. And we got evidence that I reached out to Benjamin Crump. We shared the emails the other day. They don't want to talk to me, but they go on Chris Cuomo's show. Well, it ain't my fault that they don't want their side. They can talk how they want. You bringing me up. You're bringing my name in this. You could just focus on them. You focusing on me. All right, let him finish. He got some more weird stuff to say. Roll it.
Last night didn't help.
Last night didn't help.
Nancy Grace asked him, Brandon Tatum, a direct question.
That's right. Say my name.
Did the surviving teens take a polygraph test? That's the question. Roll it, Andy.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph. And from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's
test
from
but
what
one.
you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So, so as you can see, I'm conflating lie detector test with polygraph. It was an error on my part to say polygraph, but I conflated the two, but I cleared it up. I made sure, because I don't want anybody to have ambiguity out there. It was a mistake on my part by not just saying a lie detector test to start with and then clarifying that the lie detector test was a voice stress analysis. And so I said polygraph test because they're synonymous. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and I'm just saying that, and then I clarified it because I realized that I'm saying polygraph test and I mean lie detector test, and I couldn't think of the name of the voice stress analysis at the time. Then I came back and told her it's a voice stress analysis. And I'm going to get to why this is a nothing burger anyway, and Don Lemon, who have no idea what he's talking about, he wouldn't know this because he's never done any investigatory work in his life. Roll the clip. And so what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not. So then the answer to
did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Brandon Tatum. Hold on. In a nutshell,
so she moved on to another person. And so I ended up responding, which Don Lemon didn't have on his thing, obviously. But he did mention it. I give him the credit. He did mention that I responded and clarified. Let me tell you why this is really a nothing burger. Because a polygraph test, voice stress analysis are different, but neither one of them are verifiable enough to be presented in court. Most voice stress analysis tests are conducted on police departments all the time. It's like almost a new modern way to do it because polygraph is somewhat antiquated to a certain degree. And so it's less intrusive to have a voice stress analysis. None of that stuff matters in court. None of that stuff is verifiable in the court of law beyond a reasonable doubt in order to use that to say somebody's telling the truth or not. This is just a minor variable for two reasons why they would do that on a police department. One is that when they tell a suspect or a person they're interviewing that we're going to test you to prove if you're lying or not, a lot of times people come clean. Because they are thinking in their mind that thing will 100% tell if I'm lying or not. So they come clean. Also, there are indicators that may suggest that the person is not being as truthful as they should. The indicator will cause a detective or an investigator to pose more questions or go back and re-interview them because they feel like they have enough reasonable suspicion to believe that the person isn't being truthful. This is not a court certified, nobody's arguing in court whether you passed or failed a polygraph. A polygraph test is not 100%. And this is why it don't go well in court. They'll say, did this person do a polygraph test or a voice stress analysis? They'll say, yes. Isn't it possible that a person can cheat this system? Yes. Is it 100% factual that if they pass, they're telling the truth? No. End of the story. The juror's gonna say this means nothing. So I understand the question, and I shout out to her because she's reasonable enough to push back, and I gave her an explanation on it. So, but Don Lemon have no idea what he's talking about. So she got him. Roll the clip.
He didn't answer the question that was asked. Now, I always in all the interviews, and it would just guile people, I would make them answer the question I asked, because people would often pivot, especially politicians, especially people with an agenda. They'd often pivot. And I'd say that was a great answer to a question, but that wasn't the question I asked. Can you please answer the question I asked? And the question was, did they take and pass a polygraph test? Did they take and pass a polygraph test? He didn't answer it. Later, Tatum said that he meant a voice stress analysis.
Time out. Are we listening to the same clip? Are we listening to the same clip? She asked me, no, Brandon. Did they take a polygraph test? And I told her, I said, well, I think this is semantics, because both of these tests are reasonably evaluated the same on whether or not a person is lying. So I said, I think it's semantics. No, they did not take a polygraph. They took an equivalent of a polygraph. How is that not an answer to a question? If somebody said, did a person run a marathon? And I say, well, if the objective is to say, did a person run 26 miles? And you go, well, yeah, we're talking about, did a person run 26 miles or not? Was it called a marathon, or was it called a fun run, or whatever you want to call it? It's semantics. Whether they did a polygraph test or they did a voice stress analysis, it's still a determining factor that law enforcement uses to determine, in part, whether a person could be truthful or not in their statements. So the ultimate question is, were they evaluated on truthfulness of what they said on a certified system that is utilized by law enforcement? The answer is yes. Is it a polygraph or a voice stress analysis is the difference. And it's the same. Did he run an official marathon through the official marathon organization, or did they run 26 miles with an equivalent running organization? And that's why I said, well, no, they didn't run the marathon, but they ran 26 miles. They didn't do a polygraph. They did a voice stress analysis, which is equally viewed in the court as not sufficient for court proceedings. Let him finish.
Nancy Grace asked. And those are not the same thing. In a case where every word matters, precision matters. Now, look, I can't tell you exactly what Brandon Tatum's motivations are here, and I'm not going to pretend that I do know them. I have some ideas, but I do know this, and I want you to hear me very clearly here. If your goal is to help these teenagers, this strategy is not working. This ain't it. This ain't it. If you're trying, maybe you genuinely think you're trying to help them while you're enriching yourself.
Ooh.
In my opinion, it is making.
I think I'm going to get to another clip. I'm going to get to D.L. Hughley. Don Lemon, listen to me clearly. And everybody that's watching this, shut your mouth about somebody enriching themselves. There's no enrichment in this. I'm taking a lot of blowback over this. And my family got to watch people lie on me on the internet all the time, every single day, and say I hate black people. There's no enriching. I'm already successful. What are you talking about? But you better shut up, because we were at the Google Summit in a private meeting, and don't you say nothing about enriching nothing. I'll blast you. Don't make me. Don't make me. Look at somebody put it back on the screen. Look at what his thing said at the bottom. His whole platform, look at what he's saying at the bottom. I'm not running that on my show the whole time. Trying to encourage you to. All right. You know what you said in that meeting, right? Okay. All right, let's go to the next clip.
Leave the investigation to the professionals.
Oh, no, play this. Play this. Go back just 2 seconds.
Leave the investigation to the professionals, to the investigators. Brandon Tatum is not an investigator. He's not even a cop anymore. I'm not even sure how long he was a cop. I don't know. I was listening to my friend D.L. Hughley. He said that he was a failed cop. I don't know. I don't know Brandon Tatum. I met him and heard about him for the first time at a YouTube conference a couple months ago. I had no idea, don't care, not interested, don't watch. Because his motives are too obvious.
All right.
And
He said, leave it to the investigators. They are investigating. I did nothing but interview for public consumption. They have already talked to these boys. Warren and them have already said everything they said on the interview to the police already. Y'all Negroes don't want to see the truth. Y'all don't want what they said to be true. They already told the police. Their lawyers were in the interview. Or at least Warren, because Tracy didn't have a lawyer. The lawyers sit in the interview. They already doing their job. Y'all don't want to wait for them to do their job, so you accuse them, and I had to give them a voice. I'm giving Nolan a voice. Through them. Because his parents are not doing a good job at giving Nolan a voice. They're making it about race. The fair thing to do with Nolan is Nolan didn't think these boys were racist, did he? Nolan wasn't concerned about them harming him, was he? Nolan decided to spend the night at their house. Nolan went out on the boat with them for the second year in a row at Horn Island. Nolan considered them friends. All these pictures that Nolan is in got these white boys on it. Why can't Nolan give a voice to the people who liked and knew him and were his friends? Y'all don't want Nolan to have a voice. Y'all want Benjamin Crump to have a voice. All of these kids are saying the same thing, but the parents are saying something different. Oh, we don't know these kids. They got photos of them at prom and everything. Look at the picture that they're framing. Put it up there. This is our next topic. Where are the black kids at? Y'all have, the only pictures that I see with Nolan is with these white kids. He got a few with a few black kids, but the majority of his pictures are with these boys. Just because you don't pay attention to your kids enough to know all of their friends, you think these boys just lying? Like, for instance, if they had no pictures with Nolan, like all the pictures I've seen and they had all over the internet, prom, everything, they had no pictures with Nolan, and they were like, we're best friends with Nolan, I'd say, I don't know about that, bro. That don't sound a match. But all the boys I talked to said they're great friends with Nolan. Trayston, who wasn't even on the boat, he came on a boat with his uncle and left because he got into a fight with somebody. Even Trayston said, we're all friends, and we're all friends with Nolan. We hang out with him all the time. He showed me pictures of him and Nolan, I think at prom or something. I'm like, they don't seem to be lying. Why is the family acting like these weren't his friends? Anyway, let me get to, let's go to Verdict real quick. If you guys are looking for a good quality bourbon, and it's ironically enough, the name is Verdict. But if you're looking for a good bourbon, great quality bourbon, and you're a bourbon drinker, you got to be 21 and over, be responsible. This is the best bourbon I've ever tasted. If you're entry level, I call it the, you'll be, what do they call it? Gateway into enjoying bourbon like bourbon lovers do. Go with the Not Guilty. It has brown sugar in it. With the same mesh bill, meaning the same base, just with a little bit of brown sugar. So Guilty is straight bourbon, 6-year age, smoothest bourbon you're going to have, great flavor, great taste, 90 proof, and then the Not Guilty has brown sugar in it. So if you're interested in bourbon and that's your thing, go to verdictbourbon.com, verdictbourbon.com. All right, let's get to the next story. This is Cuomo. Now, put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. I reached out to Benjamin Crump 4 times over the last week or so. 2 weeks, week or so. They responded back to me. Do we have that in our arsenal or we deleted it? They responded back to me and said, the family is not doing any media interview. We never asked to really talk to the family. We wanted to talk to the attorney first because he's the gateway to the family. And if okay, perfect. All right, my producer just said there may be a possibility where TMZ will have me on an interview with Benjamin Crump, which will be spicy, and you know it's gonna be controversial. I just know it's no way in the world that I'm not gonna say why are you going straight to race on this thing? Why didn't you talk to these boys? Why didn't you talk to their attorneys? Why didn't you interview them? Why did your office not interview with me? We didn't have to do it. We didn't have to do it publicly. We could have got on the phone and you could have told me, well, what did the boys tell you? What evidence do you have, Mr. Tatum? Send it to us. We ain't even got to talk. He could have said, send me the text that you saying that the boys are saying and let the family evaluate it. But he said they didn't want to do an interview, but they went on Cuomo's show. I'm just throwing it out there, roll it.
Elmore, you heard that kid Trace in the interview say that he was friends with Nolan and that you guys would know him. Do you know him? Do you recognize him?
No, I don't. Just because you park your vehicle in someone's yard doesn't mean that they have to know you. Sounds more to me like he's more focused on getting people to know him and getting away from the fact that his so-called best friend is not here anymore. Everyone that they may have interviewed are at home. Our son isn't. Our son should be in college right now. We should be receiving phone calls from him about how his day went, but we can't. And we just want everybody to focus on what the real subject matter is. And
Understood.
that is
Understood.
find out what happened.
Now let's put this in perspective. I don't know these people. I've met Trayston. Trayston could be deceiving me. It's highly unlikely that he is because he has shown evidence to me and he has given an articulable reason why he believed Nolan was his best friend. He told me he spent nights over their house. So therefore, put it back on the screen. Trayston said, I parked my car in their yard a few times. So the father is acknowledging that part is true. So why would parking a car in the yard be true, but everything else Trayston said is not true? I mean, this is just me observing this. I don't know. Trayston could be lying, or they could be lying. I don't know neither one of these people. But Trayston seems to have a far more articulable response. Why is Trayston in pictures with Nolan all the time? Why would Trayston say that he's Nolan's best friend and Trayston had nothing to do with this? Trayston wasn't even on any of the boats. Trayston wasn't even in any of the pictures. Trayston is not even being accused of killing Nolan. Trayston is not even really involved in nothing but clarifying things. So why would Trayston go, Nolan was my best friend and wop, and Trayston is not even a person that has a reason to lie about that? Now, I think the family has a reason to downplay his involvement because he's saying something contrary to what they're presenting to the world. Trayston gave me a full interview about a lot of details about Nolan and the family. Now, maybe they didn't perceive that Trayston was Nolan's friend, but Nolan obviously did. Trayston showed me a message or at least told me that he messaged Christine and that they had a conversation. If I'm impartial, unless I talk to the family and they show some evidence why they believe this boy is just completely lying, I find it hard pressed to. And then you got to think about this. Trayston only done like 2 interviews. Maybe 3 at the most. Trayston could be interviewed by everybody on planet Earth. He only done 3 interviews. He clearly is not, and he didn't even, the interview we did with Trayston was a last minute. We wasn't even going to interview Trayston. He just so happened to be over the house. But I had talked to him before the interview, and I was like, man, this kid got a lot to say. And he seems very genuine. And I was a cop for a long time, or I can say a long time, 6.5 years, almost 7 years. I know when I'm talking to somebody and they're genuine. So anyway, he's not a clout chasing kid. He didn't try to insert himself into nothing. He was there to support Warren because they're all friends. Anyway, all right, now let's do this phone call, and I want y'all to watch this pivot because the family don't have to say nothing, but you would think that Benjamin Crump would at least clarify this. Roll the clip.
One of the key aspects early on here, counsel, has been Nolan's phone. Originally, with why was it on the boat? Why was he separated from it? There are explanations about that. Was anything done to it? One of the friends responded to that suggestion. Let me play it for you and get your response.
None of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in White's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Counsel, does that square?
Chris Como, Nolan is dead. We're going to dot every I. We're going to cross every T. We're going to look under every rock. His mother called his phone repeatedly with no answer. That raises questions.
Time out.
That's all.
Y'all always making me out to be the bad guy, but these people are doing it. Nolan's mom says she called his phone multiple times with no answer. But Nolan's mother spoke to Warren the night. Nobody knew that Nolan was missing. No one. No one called the Coast Guard. No one called his mom except Warren. The first sign that Nolan could have been in distress or missing or he didn't show up like he's supposed to, like they thought he was the night that Warren called Miss Christine. And she hung up the phone on him the first time because she had no idea who he was. She was asleep. He calls her back. They talk on the phone. He asks for her permission to call the Coast Guard. Like, how is it that Nolan is totally fine in his mother's mind? She gets woken up by Warren saying, hey, do you know where Nolan at? He ain't come back have you heard from him? And you telling me that you're talking to Warren on the phone. You guys talked for like 5 minutes, I think. So there was conversation going on. I saw the call log. And then you're telling me I repeatedly called Nolan's phone and didn't get an answer. You could just call Warren back. Do you know where Nolan was at your house, Warren? Nolan's keys are at your friend's house, whatever. He spent the night with you guys. He went to the lake with you guys. Hey, where's his phone at? I'm calling him. Do you know it? So you're telling me that she talks to this boy. He says, Miss Christine, whatever conversation they had, which they never talk about this conversation. Why? I don't know. He's missing. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. After she talks to Warren, she calls the police. So you're telling me that from that point, you go straight into investigation mode instead of talking to the people that tried to contact you. And then Warren them went out the next day looking for Nolan's body. Or not looking for his body, looking for him, period. Because they hadn't seen him. So they go, we're going to go back in and see if he's still out here or something happened to him. We're going to look for him. Like, I will never understand. I will never understand. Let the clip play.
We want to get to his answers. If this was your child, Chris Como, wouldn't you want to ask every question possible for everybody who was on Horn Island to say, Did you see what happened to Nolan? What happened? Where was he at? And that's all they're asking, and people are attacking them for trying to get answers. Can you imagine that? She's getting attacked at her job. She's getting bad job reviews. She had never gotten any in her entire career. And now, since she's been going on TV saying, I want to get answers for my son, she's been attacked by sick individuals trying to, I guess, in some way discourage them from continuing to say his name and say that we won't let it be swept under the rug.
Now think about this. This is a logical mind like me. I go, well, let me not pick a side on this. She said they want to talk to everybody involved that know what happened to Nolan. But you don't talk to none of the friends who you guys think that saw Nolan alive last. I don't understand. Warren's mom texted her. Like, you might not like the lady, but her son is the last one that's seen Nolan alive. You're not going to talk to her? You're not going to say, put your son on the phone. Come over to the crib. We need to talk. You saw my son last. I don't have time to wait on detectives. What did you see? What did you tell them? Where was my son? I need the breakdown. What do you mean you had his phone? Why did he not get his phone? Warren? Well, oh, he left his phone on the boat? Okay, because this? Okay. Where did you see him at? I saw him with a girl. What girl? What's her name? What's her social media handle? I'm calling her. You got her number? I want to see the text. Who else was there? Bert, what's his name? Bart? Warren, Wyatt? The other kids there? Where they number at? Can you get everybody to come over to the house tonight? What do y'all know? Did you talk to the police? Yeah, you did. Oh, what did you tell them? Like I did. Like y'all cannot get me to understand this. I got kids. My kid come dead, I'm calling your friends and they mama them. I'm not calling Benjamin Crump, at least not right away. But then, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. One of the kids' mama sent us a document like 80 pages of everybody, all this stuff. I mean, meticulous. Who said what? Who said what on TV? Who did putting this whole thing together? Why you won't talk to that person? Send that to Crump and let y'all go over what they got. 2 super chats. Was that the whole clip? We got one more clip and I'm gonna go to super chats. Roll the clip.
Do you believe, or do you have any reason to believe, that this investigation is doing exactly what you want it to do?
Well, we know at the beginning they started out saying there was no foul play even before there was any investigation, Chris. So that was a concern to them at day one.
That was the trigger for why we felt we had to go this route, because it wasn't even hours after they had found his body where I'm watching on the news that the sheriff is saying likely an accidental drowning. We do not feel there's any foul play, but yet stories are not lining up. And so from there, that's why we're here now.
We just want the truth.
All right, I think it said enough. Y'all gotta understand how this actually played out in real life. The Coast Guard is involved. A search team is involved. Night and day looking for Nolan. After his friend is the one that took the initiative to alert authorities and alert his mom, we haven't seen Nolan. We're concerned. His body washes up. Investigators get his body and they take it to the OME. Then they brief the chief. There's no signs of foul play at this moment. That's not a lie. The autopsy comes out. The secondary autopsy comes out. What was the determination of the secondary autopsy thus far? Undetermined. What do you want them to do? You want them to make something up? Y'all went and got your own black attorney, a black forensic pathologist, and he said, at this point, pending investigation, it's undetermined. The only indication that he had, and he was doing the most thorough job he could possibly do, is say there was redness underneath the skin and the soft tissue. No lacerations, no obvious signs of blunt force trauma on the back of the head, the side of the head, the face, the stomach, the arms, the neck. He did not indicate there was anything that was obviously signs of foul play. The neck, the internal workings of the neck did not come with the body. Every person who is a chief medical examiner has said on TV and has said to me that that's not abnormal for them to hold the trachea and this part back because they want to do as thorough of an investigation as they can. How is that not going the way you think it should go? They interview 60 people. They're presenting this to a grand jury. What do you mean? I don't understand. Yeah, but I'm okay with you saying, if this was my son, I want authorities to do their job, but I'm gonna make sure they do their job. I don't need to go to the public and do a GoFundMe and raise money before I ever see what they're doing. And I don't need to be public to hire a private investigator, somebody that's gonna hold them accountable. That doesn't need to be public. Unless you make the story big. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I gotta go. You guys understand how crazy this is, that the boys are being accused of murder. They hire criminal attorneys. And people are shocked that they hired attorneys. But you don't think it's odd that a family is looking for criminal justice and they hire a civil attorney? And then they didn't just hire a local attorney. They hired a celebrity attorney that focuses on a wrongful death for black people. Therefore, you're projecting that this got to be a race thing in the first place. Only because they're white and he's black, it's got to be about race. And the problem is you guys are going to overlook evidence because you want it to be these kids when it could be someone else. It could be someone else on the island that Nolan didn't know. But y'all focus on them and you could be looking everywhere. All right, super chat. 2 super chats. Thomas, thanks so much for super chat. Appreciate all that you do and for spitting the truth daily without bias. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate it. Sonny, thank you for your service and all that you do. We, the people, need you. You should be our president. I'd tear it up if I was the president. I'd tear it up. I'll be like Trump and Obama together. Everybody like how charismatic and authentic Obama appeared to be, and they love how straightforward Donald Trump is. Come on, put me in there, y'all. Put me in, I'm gonna run. Put me in there. All right. I love you guys. I got to get going. My wife is going to be mad at me a little bit. But baby, if you're watching this, I did pack. All right, I got everything ready except my toiletries. And if you at home watching this right now, can you put my CPAP machine in the thing so when I get there, we can just go, all right? I know you watching. I'm ready. I told you I was gonna be gone but baby, you see all this drama on the show. I gotta show up. All right? I'm just kidding. My wife know what it is. I love y'all. See y'all in the next one. We out.